Hello there, Ray here, and a new snapshot came out for the 1.14 Pillage and Village update. This is snapshot 19W11A. With this snapshot comes some huge overhaul to the way that villager trades work and villages altogether, including even new trades to the villagers, plus a whole bunch of bug fixes. I'll be going over all the different changes in the snapshot review video. And you guys might notice my new skin. This was made by Manrock for St. Patrick's Day, which is this Sunday. But there is some minor bug issues in this version, as even like the F5 mode is off. And remember guys, tonight we're going to have our snapshot stream where we will be doing extensive testing about this new version. And I'd love if you guys can come join us. We even have a snapshot server which you can join as well. And even if you can't make it tonight, you can always join our Discord right now and hop into that snapshot server. Links can be found down in the description. Let's get into all the changes. They redid villager trading, so if I go ahead and right click on this villager, you notice he gets his name and he's a novelist, meaning that he's just a low-level farmer. And you can see there's a progress bar here. You also notice that we still got the item which he is trying to buy on this side, and then the price which he's selling is on this side. But you notice that there is some different numbers here. So this number here is typically the amount that he would want for him to give you 1 emerald. But since it's in demand, he will accept only 16 wheat to give your emerald. And you also still got the arrow keys to go side to side. Now I know in Bedrock Edition it put the whole UI on the side where you can see all the trades all at once without having to unlock them. I was kind of hoping that they would do this, and they did say that this UI is still a work in progress, so maybe they'll go to that Bedrock Edition version. That would be really cool, so you don't have to do all this extra clicking back and forth to do different trades, because I'm really not a fan of doing tons of extra clicking in game. You also notice that there is new trades. They said they gave a whole bunch of new trades to all the villagers, so we'll be looking into all that. So let's go ahead and trade this villager, and you see when I put some wheat in there, here's the progress bar. I'll take an emerald out. You can see I completed that progress bar, and here's the next section of the progress bar that I can complete. So if I take another emerald out, you see I completed that one because it turned green, and this is the new one over here. Let's take out some more, keep taking them out, and you see he is locked up. Now this trade here, it hasn't locked up. So if we would normally, you would just leave the villager and you get these little regeneration particles, and then he would reset his trades. Now that has changed. Now they only reset their trades twice a day if the conditions are proper. So let's go ahead and right click him. You see that his progress bar stayed the same, but this is still crossed out. So let's go over here to the next trade, which is the beetroot. He's willing to only take 9 beetroot to give you 1 emerald. So let's go ahead and take that. Take it again and again. Notice this progress bar reached the complete top. So let's go ahead and take this out and leave the trade. Now you do see guys little particle effects, and he's showing the food that he is going to trade next. So he's trading pumpkin as well as apples. So he's illustrating those to the players. Let's go ahead and right click him and we'll buy some pumpkin pie from him. Also notice that he is now apprentice. So he has leveled up. Let's go ahead and just lock this trade. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So now for the farmer to gain more experience, he's going to have to work with these trades here. So let's go ahead and buy pumpkin pie. And let's buy a bunch of them. Let's see if we shift click, will it do a whole bunch of progress all at once? Well, it looks like it did do some progress, but it locked up very quickly. And it doesn't look like there's any more progress we can make in this section here. So let's go to the next one. And don't look like there's any progress here either that can be made, but let's go ahead and try it. Oh, okay, so as we put the item and then it shows the progress that we can make. So buying these 4 apples will give us that much progress on his bar. Let's try the shift clicking again and see if that works. Yes, the shift clicking did work. It made complete progress and also locked it out. So this guy, all his trades are locked, so you won't be able to do any more trading with him until it resets. Like I said, it resets twice a day. But for it to reset, they have to be working at their station. So this guy is a farmer. So his station is over here. It's his compost bin. And every villager has their own type of station. So like the blacksmith will have his blacksmith table. And you can see these guys, what they're offering. This guy is offering some iron axe, and this guy is offering a tunic. Both these guys are offering tunics. Let's go ahead and check out their trades. So it looks like they are selling tunics. It makes sense because they can only really show you the item that they're selling. They might not necessarily have the leather, but you can see that this is in demand. He needs leather, so let's go ahead and get some leather. And notice that he has this tunic on sale. Normally it would be 7 emeralds, but he must have a lot of supply, so he's trying to just sell it for 1 emerald. And this is kind of the concept that's going with the game. they're going to make it so that the villagers will kind of have supply and demand, where if they have tons of one item, they're going to lower their price. But if they really need an item, they're going to raise their price, hoping that they get that item. I think this is a really cool change, and it really brings out the life in the villagers. Now notice it turned dark, and the villager went to his house, and they will actually sleep in beds now. So they'll try to sleep if they have a bed, and every villager tries to have a bed. And beds are now used for the detection of the village. So you need villagers plus a bed plus their workstation to be considered a village. They're no longer going to consider doors. So iron farms are going to have to change quite a bit. Now they did say that iron golems will spawn if there's enough villagers that are at a meeting. Now when it turns daytime, the villagers come out of bed and they go back to work. Now the villagers will also go through different schedules. Daily schedules could be something like where they go to work and then they meet up at the villager bell and then they will go back to bed at night. So you can see here is the bell over here, and earlier on you see there was a bunch of villagers meeting around here. And this is an important part of the village. So this blacksmith here, he's trying to sell his iron axe for only 1 emerald. They said the price at which they sell it depends not only on demand, but also on their reputation. So reputation is where, like, if you would kill a villager, your reputation goes down, or kill iron golem, or like a baby villager, then it's all going to bring it downwards, and trading will bring it upwards. So let's go ahead and see if that actually works. Let's go ahead and see if we can try to bring this up. Wow. Okay, so I just hit this guy twice. And you see it went from only 1 emerald all the way up to 9 emeralds. Dang, this guy really jacked his prices up quickly just because I hit the villager. That is a really cool attribute of the villagers. About a minute went away and the villager already brought his price down a little bit. And this guy's actually using the grindstone here. You can hear he does some sound effects with it. And this is his workstation. Because he has a workstation as well as a bed, he can keep this village going. Now if you go ahead and destroy his workstation, it seems that his trades stay the same. He doesn't completely lose them. And the leather worker, their station is the cauldrons here. Now I noticed this village has changed overall the layout. Before, every time I come to this village when I do my testing, the houses are pretty crowded here, and now it's changed quite a bit. Also notice we got 2 blacksmiths. We got a blacksmith over there as well as one over there. Now one thing I wish they would fix is allowing the player to shift click emeralds into the slot here, as well as like any item. So if he takes like wheat, then you could just shift click it in there rather than having to use the number key or drag and drop. So I used up both the guy's first trades, and it seems that he's not updating, so I'm thinking he needs to have his workbench before he can update. So let's go ahead and put his workbench down. Let's see if he will update to the next tier of trades. So it seems he won't update to next tier until I completely fill in this bar here, until he has a new name, similar to the other guy we looked at. This farmer here looks like he's hopping inside the compost bin. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do it there. Now when the villagers start out as novice, you'll see that the little pouch that they carry on their belt here is like a stone cutter. And as they upgrade, it's going to change colors. This guy here, he's apprentice, and you can see his is like a bronze cutter. And that's why he has both these trades as well as the next set of trades. So it looks like his trades opened up again. It's going to take a lot more trades to make progress on this bar, so let's go ahead and use this all up. Looks like he still needs a lot of beets as the price is fairly low. Let's also buy a whole bunch of pumpkin. So it completely maxed out this apprentice level. And if we let him sit there for a while, he should upgrade. Yep, he gets a little regeneration going on. Now he is a journeyman. Let's max out the progress of this. Let's also buy some of his new product, which is cookies. And now he is maxed out for a journeyman, so he should upgrade to the next one. Oh, looks like it reset the bar for some reason. Now you still can throw items in like the very first trade and get access to whatever trade is open or accepts that item. So let's go ahead and just get a whole bunch of emeralds. And for some reason, yeah, it looks like the bar completely fills up. And it might just be a shift clicking bug, but like, let's see if we get out of this guy's inventory and go back into it. Yeah, now it goes back down again. So that must be a bug to do with the visuals. He also seems to be stuck inside of his composter. You gotta go to bed, man, you're gonna die. So notice that the farmer's pouch he's holding now is turned a gold cutter since he increased his level in the profession. So when he's trying to go into his house, you can go ahead and trade him and he'll interrupt what he's doing and come up to you like he's trying to actually interact with you rather than like the other villagers would just run away. But let's let him go to bed and let's see. Bed is occupied. Okay, so it says we can't go to bed and it looks like we can no longer click on him. Let's do F3 plus B. And it seems that his hitbox turns extremely small. It's the size of his head. Let's see if we can click on that. Oh yeah, we can. So I guess you can still trade with the villager while he's sleeping if you're really impatient, I guess. So let's grab the information off this villager using this command, and we can see if there's anything new that they added here. So you can see the stuff that they added in the past, such as he's a farmer, that's his profession. He is currently in the 3rd level, being a journeyman, and he's also a plains biome one. That's the texture that shows on the outside. Now up here in the top, you can see there's a lot of new information about the villagers. You can see there's a tag called brain, and then there's memories, and it shows the type of memory. So he has a meeting point. This is the position on the meeting point, as well as a dimension. So you can see it's an overworld. You can see where he says his home's at. These are the coordinates of where his bed's probably at, and also the coordinates of his job site. So he keeps track of where his workbench is. You can see other stuff like his food level, if his age is force. Here's a new one, which is gossip. Type equals golem. Value is 100. And here's a couple of different targets. So this probably keeps track of different things that will either show if his trades are going to go up or down, like if there's a golem, if the golem has been damaged probably by the player. Shows like how many different trades he's been doing. So the trading value is 25. Here's one called minor negative. Probably has to do with removing reputation from the player. And there's another one called golem as well. So this is probably what's used to figure out if the trades go up or down. Now, the villager also has the same kind of offerings as they used to show in the past, like the recipes. For some reason, this guy's first trade is he is buying bee air. So it looks like he's buying air for a count of 1. I don't know what's with that trade. That's like the very first one, but the first one that we actually see is this one here, which is the wheat one. And it shows how much wheat he'll take in and how much he'll sell it for. He's selling for 1 emerald. How many XPs you get from it, how many uses you can use, and the price manipulator. So that's probably how much he can deviate the prices from the normal. And there's also reward XPs. That might be the XPs that you get off the guy. For some reason, each of these normal trades also comes with this trade that's showing buy B, and then it's set to air. Maybe that's just a way to prevent the player from buying more of it. So it looks like the farmer's trades get reset based on how much time instead of like what time of the day, as I've been advancing the days and his trades are still locked. Or it could be that I am just advancing the day too fast, so it's skipping the time period in which they reset their trades. So for every type of villager, there's also a type of block that they associate with. And most of them are these new ones that you see here. Now they've also introduced recipes for both the fletching and smithing tables, which are the last of all the new utility blocks to be given crafting recipes. So to craft up the fletching table, what you'll need to do is have 4 planks and 2 flint and steel. This will produce 1 fletching table. And to craft up a smithing table, you need 4 planks and 2 iron ingots. This will produce 1 smithing table. Now they said they have not give uses for the players to use these. So if you right click them, you can't access their GUIs and they're not like the other utility boxes. As these are still work in progress and they're going to give the uses to these potentially in the next major update. So this is a little insight into what 1.15 will probably be about. So it's probably going to do something with combat and maybe combat improvements, since the blacksmith has to do with making armor and fletching has to do with making bows. So maybe they're going to change the way bows and armor are made, or the way that they're used. So probably 1.15 will be some type of combat update. This could mean that they'll change it so that you won't even wear certain types of armor without having a certain level. Like you can't wear diamond armor until you reach a certain skill level, so you can actually put that on. But these tables still can be used by the villagers. So if you see these in the village, the villagers can use them, and that way they can get their trades. When new villagers come into the world, they're going to come out with these just brown coats. They're not going to have any profession. And when you place them on the blocks that they can get a job from, then they will change their profession. So here I got barrel, and you can see this guy switched over to being a fisherman. Let's see if we can actually watch these guys switch over. Yeah, right there, you see how he switched over? So now he's a fisherman. Now the guys with the brown coats, you cannot trade with them. If you right click them, nothing happens. And of course these guys, you can trade with them once they got profession. So you need about 1 block for every guy. So if I put down 3 blocks, I should be able to get all these guys turned to fishermen. And if you would get some babies from these villagers, they would end up like this, being just the brown coats. And then only when they get adults would they probably be old enough to get their profession, if they can. This means it's probably possible if you want to get one type of trade from the villagers to just put down one type of block for them. And we can convert them all into like librarians. Notice all these villagers are coming to the town center and they're having their meeting here. So the guys way over there walked all the way over here. We got some other guys coming in from this side as well. They've also added a new setting. So over here, there's accessibility settings. This is where you can turn off narrator.
Narrates all button. Narrator. Narrate system button.
So you can change that up. So if you want to have it so when people talk in chat, It just automatically talk to you. So when I'm like streaming, the people can type in the chat and I can still hear them while I'm streaming. You also can show the subtitles, which is when you like walk around, it shows those little words on the bottom right. There's also a text background chat. And the way this works is it's just going to put some background to the text, so it makes it easy to read the words. So like there, if I click on the bed, you can easily see what it's saying. It doesn't get covered up by the stuff in the background. That's really nice because oftentimes it's very difficult to read those texts. And you can also change this to set to everywhere. And you can also change how opaque the background will be, as well as how opaque the chat can be. So you can turn that down so you can really see the chat when you type it in there. That seems to also make it so dark that you can't actually see what you write. Oh, okay, that seems to change the actual text of it compared to the background. So I guess that's one way to just get rid of the chat instead of having to change that other setting. In the chat settings, you can also turn off chat, but then you can't type in it. So I guess this is an alternative where you could turn off chat by still typing it. They also changed the way you can move throughout different texts by using tab or shift tab to move, as well as up and down arrows to navigate. So let's go ahead and give this a try. If I put down a sign, I can type. I can hit enter to go to next line and type. But notice I can also hit tab and it's going to highlight this done button. And if I hit the space, it's going to just complete it. It also makes my guy jump at the same time, which is kind of funny. Now the other way you could use to get out of this is just by hitting the escape button. But it's really nice that they give you some more options. And you can also do this like in the crafting grid. If I hit tab, you notice how it flickers this. And if I hit space, it don't seem to maybe working properly, but you're supposed to be able to go around and move throughout the different stuff. So let's see if I type here, hit tab. Not quite working right, but I can definitely see that I'm tweaking this and making it better so you can move through these different types of UIs without having to constantly be using your mouse. Now they also added a new symbol to do with banners. So there's like the flower charge symbol, the creeper one, the skull one, the thing, which is the Mojang symbol, and now they added a new one, which is globe. So if you put this into Loom, you put your banner, you put your pattern, as well as the die color. This is the globe symbol here. Let's go ahead and just produce one of these banners. Let's put it down. Oh wow, so it's like a cube-shaped globe. Pretty cool. Obviously, you can put more layers onto this and might be able to do some interesting patterns using this new pattern. I'm really excited to see what people can do with it. Now, they also fixed a ton of bugs. I mean, it must be like 40 some different bugs that they fixed in this update. I'll be going over all the real major bugs. So they fixed a bunch of bugs to do with mobs dying and players being able to interact with them. There was a duplication bug where a zombie would be holding something and then it would convert into a drowned. And if you killed it right before it converted over, you would be able to duplicate your items. So that bug is most likely fixed, as well as a bunch of other bugs to do with mobs dying and players interacting with them. They fixed a bug to do with when your player inside of tall grass and you go into F5 mode. Remember how your guy would just completely be smashed up against the grass? And this had to do because the player's focus point was actually down by its feet, but then it was just moved upwards. They have now fixed this, so you can stand in grass like this and look around without any problem. This does mean you can kind of do some weird stuff, like I currently put myself inside of a block of glass, and you can see that I can kind of do this F5 mode where I can kind of see my own face inside out. One of the biggest bug fixes in this version is that they made it so that player-owned wolves are now able to get the proper loot when they kill mobs. This is something I've been advocating ever since 1.9 where they accidentally broke it. So now when the wolf kills something on behalf of the player, it should have the same chance of dropping those loot as the player would get. So this means it's possible to have wolf-powered wither skeleton farms where wolves will be able to kill wither skeletons and have a chance of dropping their wither skulls. This just opens the door to a lot of automation that has been broken ever since 1.9. And I'm so glad they finally have fixed my bug report on it, as I've been trying to advocate it for years and years now. And a lot of times old bugs like that just get thrown under the rug and never really see the light of day. So it's really cool that they finally went to like an old bug report and actually completed it. They fixed it so that waterlogged blocks won't catch on fire anymore. They moved all the wall variations of the blocks out of the building block tab and moved them into the decoration one, so you can see them all right here now. Another major bug was fixed in this version, and this was one reported by one of the ProtoTech members, Theosub. This had to do with the main thread using 100% of one of the CPU cores when no users were even logged in, which is causing a lot of problems to do with servers that were running the 1.14 snapshots. So I'm really glad that this is fixed and should really improve our snapshot server. So when you guys hop onto the snapshot server right now or later on during the stream, you guys should notice a big difference. And great work by Theosub for really pushing this bug report so it could get fixed. They also fixed another one that we just talked about recently, which is to do with shadows of large mobs. So in the video where I categorized all the different mobs in Minecraft by how rare we thought they were, we noticed that the Ender Dragon shadow was extremely small, and they went ahead and fixed this, as well as a bunch of other mobs which shadows were not the proper size. They fixed another bug to do with chunk loading and how the game stalls when it's trying to load chunks. This is something we noticed quite a bit in 1.14. They also made a pretty big change to do with the way you place down certain stuff. So before, when you wanted to place down another wart, you had to directly click on the block and the actual surface of where you want to plant it. You couldn't like click on the side here. So you had to click right here. But now it's possible to click on the block behind it. So if you click on this block, you see I'm able to place it over here. And they did this for a bunch of other types of plants as well. This will make automating different types of farm a lot easier, as you can place another wart against this side here, and then you only break the nether wart when it grows as high as the player is aiming. That way you only break another wart that is at a higher stage. They fixed it so that minecarts can now go around corners. There was a really weird bug where minecarts were not able to do this, and they were jumping off the rails and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. We actually made a piston bolt without using any pistons, and it's pretty crazy. I'll put a link to that down in the description. And they also fixed a bug to do with entities going invisible when joining inside of spawn chunks. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most influential snapshots of the 1.14 version. There's just so many different changes and so many different things to look into. And I'll be putting out some more videos going into more detail about the trades and how everything works. And I'm really glad that Mojang went ahead and fixed a bunch of really old and major bugs. And don't forget guys to join us during our Snapshot stream tonight. It's going to be super exciting to check out all the different changes in more detail. And if there's something specific you want me to go ahead and check out during the Snapshot stream, you could tell me down in the comments. And if you did find the video interesting, show it with a like and be sure to share it with somebody. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!